Hello everybody, it's Ebontis, and we are about 3 weeks away from Final Shape. And if you've seen a previous prep video, we got a couple of updates. If you haven't seen one, 3 weeks is still a lot of time to do a whole bunch of stuff. And most of this is just going to be a reminder in case you haven't been playing in a hot minute. So let's jump into a lot of the things you need to do or consider doing before Final Shape gets to us on June 4th. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on bounty prep. You may or may not be doing this if you're trying to jump into the day one raid, trying to get a head start on the season pass or on the artifact. That's why most of us are going to be doing bounty prep. Remember, you want to clear out as many of these quests as possible. If there's anything you don't really need anymore, just abandon it. Things like Riven's Wishes, make sure you turn those things in and complete them because they expire at the end of the season, and you want to make sure you get the credit for what you get for those. But when it comes to bounties themselves, a lot has not changed. If you've watched other bounty prep videos, if you watched my previous one, the weeklies are still going to be the same. And again, you're 3 weeks out, so you still have the opportunity starting tomorrow. If you do today, you just get a little head start. But Europa, you can do 3 different weeks worth of weekly bounties for each one of the Empire Hunt, if I'm remembering the name correctly. Yeah, Empire Hunt, plus one more. Dreaming City, you'll be able to do 3 of the Ascendant challenges, and then plus the other weekly one in there. You've got 2 weeklies on the Moon, you've got 1 weekly on Eternity, you've got 1 on Neptune, you've got the 2 weeklies on the Cosmodrome, and I think that's most of it off the top of my head. Remember, everything in the Helm is going to get wiped out, so I would not keep any bounties from here or anything related to the Helm. And I'll cover a little bit more in there. But with regards to daily bounties, you can fill up your daily bounties from pretty much anywhere. You can get them from Nessus, you can get them from EDZ, Cosmodrome, Moon, Dreaming City, Savathun's Throne World. Does not really matter. But what you do not want to do is you do not want to save any daily bounties from the Vanguard, from Crucible, or from Gambit. Main reason is those 3 ritual vendors are now going to have a different progression path to go through and work through on a weekly basis, so they are not really going to have bounties related to them anymore. They're going to have a different progression. So they have truly said, if you are holding Gambit bounties, and they know we do this, but if you're holding Gambit bounties, those will flat out disappear. But again, this is only for daily bounties that are related to Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard. Your weekly bounty prep and all those things that you do and all the dreamings, that's still totally fine. So like everything I'm holding on this character, where you got Moon and the Nightmare Hunts and Dreaming City and Europa and all of this stuff is fine. I would not keep anything related to Into the Light either, just to be safe, because that's going to kind of transition to a different area. That area is going to go away. So anything that is like seasonal related and Into the Light related, don't keep any of that. But any of your normal weekly bounty prep should be totally fine. Just do not keep any Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit bounties. Those truly will be snapped out of existence, Thanos style. Now, another thing to mention is going to be Rahul. Rahul is actually going to have a new reputation system when we get to the Final Shape. And they have stated clearly that you're probably going to want to save possibly as many exotic engrams as you can. Now, I've been just not really turning these things in because I don't have much use for most exotic engrams at this point. So I've been saving up exotic engrams. I would make sure when you get to Final Shape that you have at least 1 to 2 spaces per character, because you want to be able to actually pick up loot, because if you don't, it just all goes to the postmaster if you don't even have room here. So you're going to want at least 1, maybe 2 spots available. If you have multiple characters that you can save this between, you can probably knock out most of Rahul's reputation between, 3 times 8's 24 engrams. That's probably going to be plenty. But that's also going to help with his reputation and progression for what we're going to work through with him. So if you have the ability to not turn in exotic engrams between now and Final Shape for anything that you do it for, and that can be just running exotic engrams and running basic stuff to get your exotic engrams, or just seeing them drop in the world, make sure that you keep as many as you can to help Rahul's reputation path progress quicker if you care about that kind of thing. Legendary shards. Many of us have been turning these things in for a while, and if you still have some, they will be truly gone come Final Shape. Now, your main uses for legendary shards that I would say at this point, 1 is going to be just buy some raid banners. So you can buy 1 stack, you might buy 2 stacks, just so you're good for a while, because this will be one of the easier ways to get them as opposed to buying them with Glimmer. Who knows what we'll be using Glimmer on, but it seems like most things anymore. The other thing that you can do is you can go to Rahul and you can buy Phantasmal Fragments. What you can do with Phantasmal Fragments is you can turn these things in for Glimmer. So they are one of the few places where you can actually turn legendary shards into Glimmer. It's not the best conversion rate, but it's one of the few that is going to carry over into the final shape. So right now, if you have a lot of legendary shards, buy up some raid banners, 1 stack or 2, or however many you feel comfortable with. And then Phantasmal Fragments, if you have the time and you want to sit there and click for a while, are a decent way to store up Glimmer in kind of backup support. So I'll probably turn most of these into the rest of my Phantasmal Fragments and then be done. It's, you know, one way to pretty much use those up because I don't really have many other uses for it at this point. I did mention this before, but Riven's Wish tokens. Remember, turn these things in if whatever you need them for, whether it's a currency from her that you can get, whether it is getting a red border, which I turned in most of mine for. Either way that you do it, apparently I need to go through and actually like finish this one up. But the idea is turn in your Riven's Wish tokens, get all the rewards that you can from those, because those are all going away, and those are some good rewards, especially if you need Last Wish red borders. One of the easier ways to get that done, so just don't sleep on that. When it comes to currencies, exotic ciphers, you can get the quest from Zur. You can work on doing a few of those over the course of the next 3 weeks. So if you pick that quest up, knock it out, get your exotic cipher. You can have a few of these stocked up for whatever you might need these for. Zur is supposed to get a bit of a rework, so we'll see how much use these have. Stacking up on Ascendant Alloy, Ascendant Shards, Enhancement Prisms, Enhancement Cores. All of that type of stuff, whether you're buying it with Legendary Shards of what you can, or just trying to stockpile in any way possible, trying to just make yourself as ready as possible for what remains in the future is going to be a good idea. So currencies that you can stock up on, get them everywhere you can. I mean, stuff like the offerings and other things related to the season, those are all going to go away. But anything that you can actually stock up on that's going to matter, that stuff doesn't hurt to get more of. Another thing is in the helm. Now, as you can see in my engram tracker, I have 99 Defiant engrams, 46 Deep engrams, 42 Witch engrams, and 99 Wish engrams. If you have a ton of engrams out there, one, don't forget, Defiant engrams especially seem to be the ones that drop with really good stats. So if you go there, make sure you go in there with like either Resilience or Discipline. Those are probably 2 of the best ones that you can use, at least for me personally on stats since I'm a Titan. But again, for PvE type stuff, those are usually pretty good. I wouldn't be going for, say, like mobility. But again, turn in those and see if you can get some good rolls. Just because you don't have Artifice Armor doesn't mean you won't get a good armor roll, because if you get a 68 stat roll that's distributed correctly, that's still going to be potentially better than a 64 stat roll that is Artifice, because that 68 has 4 more stats as opposed to 3. So depending on what your Artifice and armor stat situation is like, or if you just have a bunch of engrams, you might get an engram that's just even a little bit better if you have some of these. So if you have engrams for any of these places, dump all of them before the end of the season because they will be gone. So in the Hall of Champions, you have Shax and you also have Insight, I think is the robot's name. Do what you need to do and go through whatever is required for you to actually get your hands on, I don't have the collectible on me, the Super Black Shader, because I don't know when we're going to be getting back to it. So you need to go through, and I was out of town and sick for a little bit. So I need to finish my last 2 quests, and I've got my reputation on Shax done. So when I finish my last 2 quests, I will get my Super Black Shader unlocked. If that is something you care about, knock it out in these final 3 weeks if you haven't yet, because to be honest with you, just because it's there now, it could be 3 months, it could be a year before they bring that thing back. And if it's one of those shaders you want, now is the time to knock it out and be done with it. Another thing is just any exotic quests or anything that you've got here. So I need to go finish up Whispers of the Taken. If you have any random exotic quests you need to do, like my Oversoul, if I run some Hive, cool. If I don't, I don't. But I will tell you that, you know, if you have exotic quest type stuff like this, now's the time to start knocking it out. If you've got any patterns that you want to work on, any frames that you want, some of the really good ones that I would recommend, Scatter Signal from this season, just because it is a rapid fire frame and you've got controlled burst on it, is a very good option for DPS, so do not sleep on this one. And when it comes to like sniper rifles, if you get Supremacy from, or even, what's the other one that they're doing? Succession or Supremacy, either one of those have some very viable options to them. When it comes to heavy grenade launchers, don't sleep on the idea, like, Regnant's decent, again, but if you're farming for edge transient, you get a good one. Grenade launchers have some possibilities for DPS. So think about what patterns you want, what weapons you're looking for. Do you have, you know, what you would consider a good submachine gun on a couple of these categories? Like, I have a good Ikelos. Do I need to run Lost Sectors for world drops? Do I need to be farming for better drops when it comes to some of the Into the Light weapons? Do I need to finish up an exotic catalyst? Run through what you want to knock out preparation for, and now is the time to do it. I wouldn't try and burn yourself out. That's why I've been kind of spreading my bounty collection over the course of these 3 weeks. But also, if there's something you feel like you need to do, now's the time to, you know, kind of get ready and finish up the final things that you're going for. If there's any little bit of other stuff that you haven't done yet, and you know, it's kind of feeling like crunch time, try and set aside some time, try and set out some time to grind, do what you need to do. I'm going to be working on some Pantheon stuff since I was out of town for the last 2 weeks and sick, so I will be trying to get back into that. But that's pretty much everything that I can think of. If there's anything major I forgot at this point, let me know down in the comments below. Probably day before the season actually comes out, I'm going to give you guys reminders of, you know, getting your blinding light on to make sure you get all of the experience you can when you log in. So make sure your quest is set up, making sure that you work through and kind of how to turn in bounties and things of that nature. That'll be like day before the actual final shape comes out. But for now, prep what you can, prep anything you care about. And if you don't care about any of this stuff, that's totally fine too. But if you do want to be prepared, not miss out on opportunities, and, you know, take most advantage of the currencies you have and kind of be in the best shape possible, this is what you want to do. And also remember, when you go through your season pass, claim everything. Like me, I need to go do like last wish runs, like chest runs, to try and get some stuff to drop so I can use my deep sight harmonizers. And again, remember, go to the website and check the previous season, because you might have deep sight harmonizers from there as well. And just claim everything that you can from this season, from last season. There's an extension you can get where you can claim seasons before. I haven't done that because I usually claim just about everything, but I still have stuff to claim last season, so I've got stuff to do there. So Season Pass and Last Season Pass are easy to get to within Bungie.net. Check all of that as well. Claim everything. Don't leave much to chance. Be as prepared as possible, and when you log in, you'll be in good shape. So other than that, clean out your vault, give yourself a little bit of space there. We will get 100 more slots. That doesn't mean 100 doesn't fill up quickly with a bunch of new stuff. So, you know, I'm going to try and clean myself down to, I don't know, 450, 500, somewhere in that realm. So I have almost 200 slots to work with when it comes to the new stuff. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like below. If you're new to the channel and enjoy my content, whether it's Destiny, whether it's V-Rising, whether it's all the other games that I'm playing, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell, and I hope to see you guys in a future video. Find me on Twitch and Twitter at Ebontis, and good luck.